right, it is now time for raising funds for World Domination, day number 225. So, for the daily update, there is once again no updates on any of these items. And today was another reasonably productive day. Did more filming, more editing. There's still one more marketing video. I guess I'll probably release that in maybe a week or so. And other than that, I guess we'll continue where we left off last night. Working on the terminal block mining simulation game. Orthoplex 64, how's it going? So tonight, I think I will continue with the multiplayer bootstrapping process. So that compiles and runs. So currently the way it works, currently the player position in inventory is initialized in the client, and that's going to get moved to the server. Let's just test this again. Because the behavior is different if you start the game with an existing initialized player versus if there's no player already in the database. Right, that works. All right, and it remembers. That's good. So when it requests the root address, sends back the error notification, but does the client try to provision a player? I guess also so provisioning a player. Does not necessarily send back any notification to Git. To let it know the root directory address. let's try that. It's not expected. Five, 6. That shouldn't happen. Doing a little game dev today. Yep. Doing a little game dev today. Doing a little game dev tomorrow. Doing a little game dev yesterday. Now if I could just figure out why this doesn't work, I'll be on business. So somewhere I can catch up on this project, both the fundraise and the game. So there's a link there's actually a couple links in the description. So the World Domination plans, there's a video for that. It's just called My Plans for World Domination. And then the game itself, there's a link to the GitHub repo. And on the GitHub repo, there's a few links to some YouTube videos on Actually, I had need to add the link to the latest one, but the basic premise is there. Watch the stream and then catch up. Excellent. Huh. That's weird and unexpected. Oh, that's because probably was not initialized. Interesting. Love this classic DF vibes. Some TY type games. Need to make a comeback. Scriptides are learning about Terminal, courtesy of coding agents. A renaissance is upon us. Yeah, it's it's pure Terminal. So yeah, Dwarf Fortress. In a way, I would say what I kind of eventually would like it to be is almost the opposite of Dwarf Fortress. Like visually, it probably I understand the similarity, but personally, like the kind of the very fictional narrative of Dwarf Fortress, I just can't get into that. But I'd like to go more along the lines of like maybe try and model some actual real world chemistry of like I started the premise out with it's about mining blocks of iron ore. In general, I'd like to be much more than that. Like have blocks represent more abstract things. But I think it makes sense to, build a kind of coherent basis around just my actual iron mining and stuff. Honestly, like given how popular Minecraft is, and how like amazing the potential of it is, it's actually kind of funny that there isn't more. Maybe there is. I don't know about it. If there isn't more like accurate mining games, where you actually like, collect the different types of natural mineral ores and go through the process of mining them. I mean that's lots of people that actually do that as a hobby, but in Minecraft, like there's you can't make like bronze and stuff, and it took them like 10 years to add copper, when in reality copper is one of the most basic metals they had for tools. Do you hack somebody's channel? What do you mean? I don't think so. Hobbies are good. It's true. Do you ever use a debugger with breakpoint? Or is this a pretty representation of your approach? It's fixing things. I make changes around the offending line, print exceptions. I guess the exception was just the easiest way. I'm on a crappy old slow computer, and if I can start up the debugger. I was actually trying to train myself to use IntelliJ, but then I kept finding bugs in IntelliJ, so I started using it less. And it also it'll take me like 5 minutes to open it. And then last time I was using it, I was having problems on like breakpoint stuff, and it wouldn't trap on the breakpoint. So it's more like just out of kind of laziness of, if I have a real big, really significant bug and I need to like kind of breakpoint on it and look around the state, then I will go to the trouble of booting it up. Same, too much sandbox, too little emergent adventure. Have not tried adventure mode yet. I'm electrical engineering by degree, and my gripe is with games like Factorio, where power factor complexity IMO would be extremely fun to work around. Codebase open source. Any major pains? So the source is proprietary, but it's all available. So there's a link in the description to the GitHub repo with all the code, and I push there regularly. What I plan to do is just make the code's going to be available, and then you can have a license. If you become a patron, you can get a license to play the game, but also like to make modifications. And I have been thinking about adding a variant for if someone wants to make modifications and then just like push them into GitHub, say like somebody actually made a 3D client where you can a 3D client that talks to the same database. It doesn't use any of the existing code, but the model is simple enough, so it just connects to the database and displays stuff. So I thought it'd be interesting. Like, since one person did that, there's probably some other people who would be interested in just kind of like forking stuff and adding something interesting. There's some other interesting stuff I have, like I have a noise generator that I wrote. There might be some interesting things to experiment there. .4 in the links. Just want to look, not to touch. Yeah, I think at this point it'll be just me developing on it. I don't think I would actually accept contributions unless I was actually paying someone. And then also if I start inviting contributions, then I have to actually audit them and review it and stuff, and it's not really. I don't have the capacity for that at the moment. But if other people wanted to make like modifications and share them, the only reservation I have is people who just like fork it and put like malware in it and then distribute it under my name. Okay, let me think about what's going on here. So this block is empty, apparently. That should be writing. That should write the block. What are you doing? I'm currently writing a terminal-based video game where you can simulate the process of mining blocks of iron ore. Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. Hello Mr. Elder, sincerely hope you're doing well. I am indeed doing well. How are you? Please make a video. LLM hacking? Not right now. I got too many other videos to make. Used name entity recognition to analyze November 11 Epstein file release. Been trying to shower off the yuck. Yeah, there's I haven't tried to dig through any of that stuff, but like the clips I see coming up in the news are just like endless scandals and all sorts of interrelated political stuff, and I think it's gonna take years for all that information to be digested and then I don't know, processed by the public. Like we have so much fake news now that the real news is becoming so insane that things could get crazy. You could also do you could use AI now to just massively create 10 billion fake documents about stuff and no one would know the difference. So we could have that going on too. It's wonderful. Doing great. Excellent. We're all doing great. Now if only I could figure out why. This is not working. So this function here should provision the new player. And this writes the new root directory block. Which is at this address. It says it's empty. Don't want to sell promo? It's on my GitHub. Both this ban is reported, somewhat underreported. Nothing crazy beyond what's known. Yeah, I don't have the time to look into it myself, but hopefully there's some journalists digging to summarize it all. It takes hours to connect together. LLM hacking. The fun kind? Or the kind that gets featured in monthly Anthropic? I don't know. I haven't really done much LLM stuff, to be honest. My country is so corrupt. When I saw the introduction of actual robots for our homes, my first thought was someone over here is going to use it for crime. That's too bad. But these days, corrupt countries are everywhere. They're a dime a dozen now. Crime is code service with post-quantum blockchain entity validation coming to Y Combinator near you. Yep, if you pitch that, they'll fund it. My name is from Shopify. I'm from South Africa. Today's video will show you how to make a robot commit crime. Yeah, you know, that's an interesting idea. Once we get humanoid robots, we'll probably will have people be like, hey, let's just program this to like break into a liquor store and steal stuff and then sell it. Because if it's profitable, someone will do that. Did the analysis because I wanted to understand the depth of the connection between Chomsky and the whole of the scum. Yeah, apparently Chomsky was like friends with Epstein or connected or something. I saw a video about that. That's honestly it's so random how Epstein was like literally connected with everyone in tech and in Hollywood. And it's crazy how all that stuff could go on for so long and nobody really thought much of it. Okay, this is driving me nuts. I guess maybe this is in a transaction. It's not finished. Actually, no, it should be in a finished transaction. Oh yeah, but then again, you would never send the address if it was not initialized. The email to bit whole chain of conversation that's released is viewable in the analysis. Unreported so far. That his wife also communicated. Yeah, actually, I think I saw a video somewhere that both him and his wife were in communication with him. I know. I think Chomsky's early days. Like the whole reason he was associated with technology and like the Chomsky hierarchy and stuff and the early development of computer programming languages was like very close to military stuff. So I guess in that way it would make sense if he was involved in like early US military stuff. It would make sense why he'd be in that crew of people. Father of natural language. Misunderstanding. I say with humble appreciation for his work on universal grammar. Actually, I have a video on my channel called Criticism of the Chomsky Hierarchy, if you're interested. It only has a few thousand views. Edmund8688 says, "Hi Robert, how's it going?" Gotta go cook. Going to fire that up now. Best of luck. Awesome. Have a good night. I was wondering if Excel is useful in the future. I'm sure it will be. I think it's kind of rare that tools get like totally replaced. Yeah, like pen and paper is still useful, and we already have like insanely advanced AI. But people still do math on paper sometimes. So this should never be null. I can check that on this end. So provision new player should provision the block. Let's do this and then see what happens. Okay, that's what I expected. So that means that it must actually be sending back the address. And it's actually trying to load that block, but there's nothing there. which is crazy because it's actually in this function it's checking if it's initialized. So it loads the block, make sure it's initialized, and then it's sending the address of that block back. Let's try the opposite. Love to improve my daily view duration, or rather occasional viewing, I should say. To be honest, to improve your daily view duration, well, if you want to, if you're interested in the stream. Personally, I think it's a pretty boring stream. I don't think I would watch this kind of stream. The reason I leave is because these streams, 5 a.m. Wow. You should go to work. Oh, well, that's all right. You're a channel supporter, so I very much appreciate your support. That goes a long way, much further than just view time. Okay, that does not crash. So I guess that means, yeah, I guess that would mean it's never actually getting. Yeah, it's not actually loading the updated block. enjoy it. Just Saturday today, so I get to hang out. Nice. Actually, now that I think about this, there might be a bug. There might be a bug in the way that chunk loading works. So if you have a chunk, when I in the instructions, I tell it to load regions of memory, and usually they were large regions. But if you have a bunch of small regions, so what it does is it chunks. So you would just like tell what collection of regions of memory you want to load. And then it figures out what chunks those are in. But if you load a chunk, because it loads the memory in chunks, which can be bigger than the actual area you're instructing it to. So when the area under consideration changes, if you change and say you want to request like one block that's inside of a chunk that's already loaded in memory, there may not be anything there. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. Absolutely right. I'm also should be a more diligent viewer. Feel you deserve it, considering how much effort you put into us plebs. Oh, well, I think you give me too much credit. Thank you very much. Let me think. Oh, you know what? There's actually, this is an example of where just adding a small inconsistency can add a whole bunch more bugs. So I think maybe the way I'm writing to this will mean that it doesn't actually send notification updates. So this is this would be the normal way to write stuff, and that is not running. The more I think about this, the more this could get crazy complicated. You know what? Maybe. Let's break a bunch of stuff. Actually, maybe I'll just finish initialization first. I have too many things going on that'll interfere with each other. Chat is very quiet. Yeah, I've been doing some shorter streams for the last little while to prioritize working on the next video. It seems like it'll usually be slow. It'll be slow quite a while, and then I don't know, after an hour or so, it starts to get more active. Seen any good movies lately? That's a good question. I don't even, these days, I don't even see advertisements for movies. I've never really been big on movies. I wouldn't mind actually like just taking a bunch of time off to watch a bunch of the classics and stuff. But I don't know, it kind of seems like in the last, ever since COVID, movies seem to have like died out a little bit. Is it late where you are? It is currently 1 minute to 11 p.m. Okay, that's the initial player. Okay, that's what the new player initialization looks like. They have a daylight savings time even in Canada, since you're an hour behind me both before and after DST ended. I'm not sure. I guess I haven't. I just I've been going by what's on my clock. We used to change our clocks like an hour forward or backward. I forget. Well, ever since it went digital, I forgot. Didn't keep track of that as much. I think it might have been like in Nunavut or something. they agreed to like get rid of it or something. I have to look it up again. Agree. Barely watch movies myself nowadays. Watch classics. Lots of Clint Eastwood movies. Yeah, Clint Eastwood movies are what is it? The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. That one with what's that? The name of that artist, Eno something. That like whistling song where where he comes onto that graveyard, and then they have that famous like shootout. There's also a lot of or is that what was it called? A fistful of dollars or something? It escapes me. It's on the. I'm used to listening to that song a while back, but it's been a while since I thought about it. Yeah, those were good movies. There's a whole bunch of good movies like in the 90s and 80s and stuff too. And I still have yet to get around to watch a lot of them. Now this should also never be null now. Dollar series, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, they were definitely That graveyard. Oh man, what's the name of that song? I can't remember it. It's the super iconic one. I think I remember reading that graveyard. It was built by like the local army in like a few days or something. Like it was an army of people built a graveyard specifically for that scene. Also like Dirty Harry series, mainly because I think he tries his best to get at least one racial slur into each of the movies. Yeah, I haven't. It's. I think I watched some of the other ones. I watched the best one of those series. I think it's A Fistful of Dollars. A few times, but it's been a long time since I actually watched any of them. But I guess now that the price of gold is going up, maybe that'll make people interested in those movies again. I think there is something kind of fascinating about, like in the olden days when everything was undiscovered and there was like the ecstasy of gold, that's it. Yep, that's it. You were saying, I don't think I was saying anything. I think I was saying, the last thing I said was about the price of gold is going up, so maybe that'll make people interested in that series of movies again. Interrupted me. I might have just been interrupted by. I'm not good at multitasking. This is a very intellectually challenging and stimulating writing code for a game, while also chatting. I think I was saying something about, like, in the olden days, the mystery of being, like unexplored places in Mexico and searching for gold and stuff. And then there'd be like random people would come out of those gold towns and say, like, I found a valley of gold, of pure gold. There's infinite gold in this valley. But I drew a map and I forgot where it is. And then everyone goes and searches for this mythical valley where there's a whole bunch of gold. And then people find other people's gold stash and steal it. Also watched a lot of John Wayne. I was watching Red River last night. A movie with some wild and funny scenes. Never seen it. Sorry for any disturbance. That's all right. That's the whole. This is the whole point of live streaming. You try to do work, and then random people on the internet have the ability to, like, spam things, and you can say mean comments to people on the internet, and you don't have to face any consequences. There's gold in them there hills. And I guess Longco too, there actually was more, like, random, like, there's, I think in some places it used to be possible to, like, go to, like, some random, like, dried up waterfall, and that there were places where you could just find, like, a giant, like, waterfall pit, and it just happened to have, like, millions and millions of dollars of gold. But nowadays, like, all of those locations are completely, all the easy gold has been taken. But back, like, 200 years ago, you could make a fortune doing that. If you watched Ballad of Buster Scruggs, I have not. Honestly, I have not watched very many movies. Even some, like, super iconic ones. The way of putting easy gold. Very hard to be in the gold trade these days, especially if you're the one mining it. Yeah, these days it's more of an economic thing. Like, it's not a fun business. But back in the day, it could be fun. You could go out with your friends and explore the wilderness on horseback, and then find a big pile of gold somewhere and get rich. Okay, that's good. It still preserves the state. Okay, let me think. I might. Maybe I'll leave that till tomorrow. So I think I may have some remaining bugs where in my like player provisioning thing on the server that goes through some code. It goes through a different code pathway, so it's not. It does not send block updates. I guess I could maybe change this, but I'll take this one step at a time to just keep it working. Tomorrow, I will work on getting rid of these static values and try to rely only on the root block dictionary. So that'll just be a dictionary that contains all the addresses of everything, all the special block types. And then that'll also support, like if I want to have, if I wanted to save your list of crafting recipes that you have. Like I said, maybe that's another progression thing. So in your player data, it actually, you start with no crafting recipes, and then you have to learn the crafting recipe or something. On topic of Westerns, I'm writing a horror novel with character dynamics based loosely around the showdown and OK Corral. Currently analyzing the movie Doc as inspiration. Interesting. I don't think I've heard of that movie before, Doc. Yeah, I saw them like super famous. I think I maybe saw two or three of the Clint Eastwood westerns. I think I saw The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars, and maybe a couple others. I think it was actually the last time I sat down and was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch a whole bunch of movies. It was like 2007. That was quite a while ago, and I may have watched them and forgot. All right, that'll be it for tonight. I'll pick things up again tomorrow night, and we'll smooth this out a little bit more, and we'll be a little bit closer to multiplayer support. All right, have a good night, guys.